Hey everybody, Southern Bubba here. I know it's been a while since I've been around and haven't been uploading in quite a while. Life got in the way, things happen, you know how it is. But I've decided that I'm going to try something a little bit different on this channel, and I think maybe some people are going to really enjoy it. I have gotten into the mode of, instead of, I guess you would say, buying new like so many of us do, we just out with the old and in with the new. I'm in a phase where let's renew. Let me go on a history here. I had sold some property back 2 years ago, and I was thinking about getting a new Honda Civic, what they would call the hatchback today, but at the time it was a 2019 Civic Si. Those of you that know me, you know that I love Chevrolets. I'm a Chevy guy, but I also love my little Hondas. And those that you have personally known me knew that I had a 1991 Honda Civic Hatchback. Looking at the prices of the new car at the time in 2019 was about $27,000, $28,000. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to redo this car. My little Civic it's a fun little car to drive. It doesn't have a whole lot of power, but it's a blast to drive. It just hugs the road. It's a fun little car to drive. So I started, as of the recording of this today, it is January 7th of 2022. I started the journey on this car October of 19. So it's been just a little over 2 years ago. So I would like to take you guys through my little journey that I have done with this car. And I think everybody will be pleasantly surprised on what it looks like today. I mean, first off, the car was great bones of the car, as they say. It had great bones. The body and everything was in really good shape. But I didn't do any modifications or some of this crazy stuff you see some people do to Honda Civics. I just basically went back factory. Just because it's a cool little car, it's fun to drive. And plus, let's just be honest, gas prices are outrageous right now. So I would like to get some better mileage than in my 2017 Silverado. I hope everybody enjoys this series of this rebuild of this car. It was a lot of fun to do. And on this, like I said, this current date, the car is not completely finished as of yet. It's about that close away from being done. But without further ado, here's the first video. Hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, Southern Bubba here. I am doing something a little different today for a video, and this is probably going to be a bit of a series, something that some of my friends have experienced with me over the years, something that I've done over the years, and it's been years since I've done it. But I apologize. I started without starting the camera beforehand. I just slipped my mind. I was on the phone with my brother and just forgot to do it. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. And for all of y'all that have never done it before, which is probably a lot, you may think, how in the world is he doing it? Well, it's just something. It's like a big freaking puzzle. It only goes back together one way. So what I'm doing, let me turn it around. You can see my little 91 Honda Civic. Some of you that watch my channel that are my friends, you have seen this car over the years. I've had it for over 20 years. Well, as you can see, I've already started tearing some stuff apart. The battery's out. Air intake that goes here is out. Distributor that goes right here for the spark plug wires that go here, here, and here, and here. It's already out. And I can show you, here are those parts already. There's one of the electric fans, the battery's here, distributor is right there. So what's going on with this car is, back a couple of years, or about 2 years ago, the cylinder head on it had broke another valve, and this is a 16 valve head. I'd already replaced one when this engine was out years ago, and then I had another one break. So I took the head off and I said, okay, 2 strikes, I'm out. So I went ahead and just had all new valves put in and had the head rebuilt. Well, the engine did not smoke at all. It ran great when I took the head off. But when I put that new freshened head on an engine that has 236,000 miles on it, well, I think it broke what we call an oil ring around number 3 piston, because I'm getting puddle of oil in there, and it just, you drive it down the road and it looks like it is fogging for bugs. You can't see behind you because it's smoking so bad. So I'm gonna have to pull this engine out and rebuild it. Granted, thankfully, the top end is already done, so all I have to do is the bottom end. While I've got it out, I'm going to go ahead and pull the transmission too, which this has got a 4-speed manual in it. I'm going to go ahead and rebuild that also, which is just simply nothing but bearings and synchronizer rings and some gaskets and seals. It's not like an automatic transmission where there's a ton of stuff to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and like I said, the engine is going to get rebuilt. So I'm going to do a small series on this. You will get to see me taking it out and actually taking the engine apart, and then I'll take it to a machine shop, have them do their magic on it and find out exactly what needs to be done so I can figure out what engine kit I need to purchase. And for those of you there that don't know, there's going to be parts in here that may be made bigger. So I'm going to have to get the, like for instance, the cylinders will probably be bored a larger size. So I'm going to have to wind up getting new pistons and new rings in a bigger size. And then bearings may wind up being oversized also, because they may have to make some of those holes bigger to just clean them up, make them true again. So it's all a process, and it's probably going to take me a while to do it, because I just don't choose to work on cars that much anymore. Just getting older in age, just don't feel like doing it as much. But it's nice because I've got a garage that I can do it in and take my sweet time. So this is what I'm doing, and you guys, I hope you enjoy it and see if you may even tackle something like this on your own. Who knows, you might try. But let's get to it, and I will show some of the steps along the way. All right, guys, I'm now under the car. If you can't tell, I'm on the ground. It is time for me, I find it easier to drain the oil before I pull the engine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll go to the next step. All right, now that we got the oil done, while I'm up under the, well, not up under the car right now, but I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the exhaust pipe from the exhaust manifold, which is this piece right here. Let's see if I can get some better light on it for you. This piece right here, that's the exhaust manifold for this car, and it goes down there to the exhaust pipe. And showing you from underneath, it'll be, here's the exhaust pipe that goes up to the exhaust manifold, which I've already got these few bolts on this flange, you can already see, are out. I've already got them out. So in order to get this pipe off, I got to take these 2 bolts out right here, and this pipe will come off once I take these 2 little bolts out. And then I can take off the exhaust manifold that actually is on the engine. So let's get to that and get the exhaust done. All right, now we got that exhaust pipe done. To make it a little easier to get this engine out, I usually go ahead and take that exhaust manifold off. This part right here, like I showed you a few minutes ago, I think it gives you more room between here and there to get it out without tearing anything up. So I typically take it off before I take the engine out. To me, it just makes it a little easier. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one done, and then we'll move to the next thing. All right, now we got that done. So you saw I took the exhaust manifold and got it off, and see how much more room it allows you when you are trying to pull an engine out. Gives me almost a foot. So, and what I always do with the bolts and such is like those nuts I just took off the studs for that exhaust manifold, I just put them back on the studs. That way nothing gets lost and they're right where they need to be. Now this gasket right here, that exhaust gasket will be replaced because the new engine kit will come with a new one. So I just leave it on there for now and I'll worry about it later. But yeah, we're moving right along and getting some stuff off. I think, let's see, I don't know if I'm gonna take off the whole intake manifold assembly first, or if I'm going to unbolt the air conditioner from the engine and just move it off to the side. I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but that is probably one of my next steps, is to get one or both of those done. So as I get to them, I'll show y'all what I'm doing and we'll go to it from there. All right, here we are for another day of getting this engine back out, or get this engine out of the car. It's been a few days since I worked on it. Just now getting some time, but the next step to do on this is to drain the radiator so I can get the rest of this stuff out of the way and get this engine out. So let's get to it, get that radiator drained so we can get to the rest of the stuff. All right, everybody, give you all a little update. I have been taking a bunch of vacuum lines and coolant lines and some more wires and stuff off of the intake manifold so I can get that off of the car, or off of the engine. It makes it a whole lot easier to get the engine out without that on. Let me turn this around and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, you see all these little lines here? I took all them off. This one right here, this line, I am trying my best to get off, and I think it's some type of, I think it's an air line, but I need to get that off. I've got the clamp off, but I'm trying to get it, it's kind of been heat seated on there, so I got to mess with that a little bit. But as you can see, all the wires and such that I have taken off, And there's a couple that are down here that I've got to get to from underneath, which are going to be a pain because I can't get this wiring harness out yet because there's a couple connections under there. But, and I do know that there is a bracket back here that you got to get to that helps support it. It kind of goes from the engine block here and goes upward. And then it's got a bolt that goes through it to hold it, to hold the intake manifold system to hold it steady. So I need to get that one little nut off, and then all of these nuts that hold it onto the engine, and then I should be able to get this off. So like I was saying, getting the engine out will be a lot easier because this intake manifold goes from here to roughly here. So you're talking almost a foot right here that it's a space that it's taking up. It just makes it a whole lot easier to get it out of the car without that there. So I'm going to continue with trying to get the rest of these electrical connections off and get that one line off. I still have to disconnect the fuel line. So I'm going to try to go ahead and get that stuff done, and I'll try to get as much of that on video for you guys as I can. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll get to it and get this thing off as soon as possible. Alright everybody, here I am on day 3 of trying to get this motor out. I have just been taking my sweet time and working on it when I can, so don't think I'm lazy, just trying to work it in between when I can get it done. But I think I left off on this last one that I was going to take the intake manifold off, which was, as a reminder, is this whole assembly right here. Well, I've got all the bolts loose and it is pretty much ready to come off, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you guys what I'm doing, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now that I got that off, do you see how much room it adds? Check this out. Look at all that free room right there to get this. I mean, that's a lot of space to get this engine out of the car. So now that that is done, I can now take this wiring harness that is kind of sort of in the way. I can now move it and pop it off of there, and I can move this out of the way now. There we go. Kind of get it down out of the way so I don't catch it when I pull the motor out. And then let's see. Might want to make it easier and just take this bracket off. Might be a little bit easier. And then I know I need to take off this cable, which goes, let's see if I can get some light here. See it right down there. When I, oop, come on, goes in right here. It is the speedometer cable. So I need to take that out. So really there's not a whole lot left to do to get this out. It's mainly, from what I can remember, I need to take the wheels off and take the drive axles out of each side. That way they're out of the transmission. Take that speedometer cable out. Take the air conditioner compressor off of the engine and kind of push it forward. And I think that's about it. And of course the motor mount bolts to get them out. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 motor mount bolts that I've got to take out, and that'll take the whole engine out and transmission. So we're not far. We're not far from getting it out. And you just thought you were going to see that engine come out today. Didn't work out quite like that. You're just going to have to wait until the next video to see it. And everybody, here's Doug. He wants to say hello. Say hello to everybody, Doug. Say hi. But yes, you'll have to wait for the next video where the engine actually comes out. So if you're new to my channel, hey guys, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Love to hear any comments that you may have about this particular build. But I've also, here shortly, it's not going to be in this video. It's not going to be in this video, and probably not the next couple of videos, but I've got a big project coming that I think a lot of people are going to, when it's finished, they're going to go, wow. So in order for you to find out what that project is, you're just going to have to subscribe. You're going to have to be here so you'll get to know. You'll get to see it and see how it turns out. So until the next time, guys, y'all have a blessed day. See you on the next one.